Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're calling in from today. Dave Miller, I'm president at eMAM, and we're always very excited to present our partners and our customers with new options and new features in our system. And we were super excited for our new release and with our new partnership with Deepgram. So thanks for joining in today, and we're going to give you a high-level overview of why it's a very compelling offering and has a lot of great features attached with it and what it can do. So today presenting will be Abe from the Deepgram team and Chuck Below from our team. And I'm going to turn it over to them. We'll record today's session and we can share the deck or the recording if you want, and happy to jump on a call, show you, or customers or whoever demo and get you more information. Without further ado, let me turn it over to Abe, and he can tell us a little bit about why Deepgram is a great offering, and then Chuck will take over and tell us how it works with eMAM, and it's a great feature add. Thanks.
Wonderful, thank you so much, David. Really excited to be here. Deepgram, we're very excited to be working with eMAM. We think there's a ton of opportunity to help drive innovation within media, and no better place to do that with inside of eMAM's platform. So Deepgram, quickly, what are we? Deepgram is a foundational AI company focused on language models. What that means is we offer a number of language models, starting with speech to text, some intelligence, and also text to speech. Foundational means that we are a very research and R&D heavy company. We have our own in-house data labeling team, advanced PhDs in statistics and other domain specialties who take the latest and greatest that's happening in the field and apply it to ways to enhance models for their efficiency and productivity. In addition to the models that we have readily available, Deepgram also does custom model training. So it's another flavor of what really differentiates Deepgram, in that as a model company, foundational, we're able to take our core models and even enhance them based on customer specific audio. And then finally, Deepgram's availability. Deepgram is available both hosted in the United States, where we have 2 managed data centers. And then Deepgram also has our models available self-hosted or on-prem. And that means customers, clients can take Deepgram and run them in their cloud environment, whether that's AWS, Azure, GCP, or on bare metal. We have clients doing all of those flavors with us to get them co-located within their data center and make sure that none of that audio and data leaves their private environment. Go on to the next slide. So a highlight on Deepgram, kind of when we talk about our advantage and what differentiates Deepgram in the market, the core of it is that Deepgram's innovation has been driven by our deep learning techniques that have been applied into model creation and development. And in essence, what that means, if you look on the top in the white here, we have what is traditionally been used to take raw audio and turn it into structured text. People out there are probably familiar. This is a technology that's been around for quite a while. If anybody's using Alexa or Siri on their phone, probably going back even 10 years or so. But traditionally, those problems of taking raw audio, turning into structured text has been solved using a very computational heavy process. That computational process you see with the 4 different steps here outlined is what is essentially very inefficient and creates cost, latency, and other things that get passed on to the client. So it hasn't been able to be adopted at scale. What Deepgram has done is take those 4+ steps, that is what other vendors kind of do on the market, and collapse that into 1 step. So that all happens instantaneously with inside 1 model, and that is through that innovation that Deepgram has driven through deep learning in our deep neural networks that we now make available and then distribute through models that we have available. So we'll talk a little bit about what that means in terms of speed and performance. So we'll go over to kind of the next slide. But first, just want to highlight, when I talk about what Deepgram offers from our foundational language models, there's kind of the 3 core building blocks. The first of those would be what we would say would be the listen bucket. This is speech to text, taking raw audio and turning it into structured text. Think of this with inside any kind of video asset, and we'll see a cool demonstration of that from eMAM here in a minute. But what does that mean? Where is Deepgram differentiated? So some specific, let's quantify that. We've done extensive benchmarking with Deepgram, and in general, we are 30% more efficient in terms of accuracy. So there's going to be a 30% reduction in word error rate. So the words that get wrong through a transcription with Deepgram. So we're best in class for accuracy. That's one thing that's very important. The second is speed. So being able to have that transcript lightning fast. We're 5 to 40 times faster in inference time than the competition. We provide 30 plus languages. So all of the Western languages, English, UK English, Australian English, many countries in Asia, and most, I think almost all, if not all countries in Europe now as well are fully supported with Deepgram. In addition, we have some other features and functionality around diarization, redaction, right? You want to remove certain words that may not be appropriate to transcribe, whether that's PII data or other things. The second layer of Deepgram would be our intelligence features. So these are task-specific models. So the specific ones that we offer are sentiment analysis, summarization, intent recognition, and topic detection. And then finally, Deepgram, we launched fairly recently, a couple months ago, our text-to-speech offering. So if you want to take raw text and have it spoken back, there's a number of use cases, especially in media. You can imagine if you have a bunch of text and you want to be able to listen to that, whether you're on the go or just prompting you to listen to it while you're multitasking. That is one use case for why people are applying text-to-speech inside their structured text files. And of course, there could be ways to do that in real-time use cases as well. And so that's another area where Deepgram, again, specialty on our domain specialty being on voice data and audio, and turning that into structured text. And then also now, because of that, we can also turn that back into live audio. So great, we'll go over to the next slide. And some of the features on transcription I want to just highlight, which is really important to Deepgram. This is all just standard available built into our speech to text models. So there's a number of key features. These are just kind of table stake things that you would expect as you turn raw audio into structured text. And that is capturing things like punctuation, smart formatting, so how you have that in paragraphs and so forth, profanity filtering, redaction, as I mentioned, filler words, callback, keywords, right, paragraphs, all that. So this is all just kind of built into Deepgram off the truck, right? Features and functionality that you can turn on or turn off depending on your use case and how you're applying it. So we'll kind of keep moving here. And then just quickly, I wanted to just kind of finish on a few more highlights. I mentioned, it's one thing for you to talk about, Deepgram best in class for speed, accuracy, and of course, then also translate to pricing. That is all about the efficiency on that slide that I showed you, the second slide on how we've taken those multiple steps, turned into one steps. We're very, very efficient on our computational time, what we're doing on the GPUs. And so that's what allows us to pass on those savings and performance to people using us. So this is just a highlight. We've done very extensive benchmarking at Deepgram. And so this is a highlight of the kind of accuracy that people tend to see with Deepgram. You'll see Deepgram over there on the far left in the green with the 9.5% error rate. And then you'll see some of the competition as it kind of scales up. So that is one of the thresholds, right, to think about word error rate. That's really, really important, getting the accuracy on the transcript. And we'll kind of move to the next slide. From another kind of benchmarking point of view would be speed. So how quick, how fast can you actually get that transcript? This is really important as well. We don't want to be waiting around for those things to happen. And you'll see again, Deepgram in the green there on the far left with by far the fastest inference or speed, and then some of the other folks out there in the competition. And then kind of the last one to end on here would be related to price. So we obviously know that price is really important. You can't roll out speech to text and transcription at scale. Our goal is to enable folks that we partner with and collaborate in our customers and prospects to be able to transcribe all of their audio data. We need to get to that point. You can only do that if it's super fast, super accurate, and then of course it has to scale pricing as well. And so Deepgram, you'll see this is just from our list prices here, what's on the website compared to some of the competition. Deepgram's 3 to 7 times more affordable than the competition in the market. Now, of course, if you talk to us about volumes and scale you want to do, we can drive unit discounts down even further, depending on volumes and related commitments. So we're happy to have that conversation and work with you and eMAM to make that happen. All right, so thanks so much. On that note, I think it's going to be passed back over to eMAM to see how Deepgram has been embedded into their software to help unlock media use cases at scale. So hand it back over to Chuck.
All right, great. Thanks, Abe. So eMAM has integrated with 2 of the models. So the services there for speech to text, so Nova 2, and then also the audio intelligence as well. So that's built in as a service that users can then send media up to, and we'll talk about that in a second here, up to the Deepgram system, and then be able to process, and then we receive back that information. That then all becomes searchable. So the information that comes back is transcripts, topics, entity, and then summary, but we'll go over a little bit on that. And then, of course, also on the advanced search capabilities, we're able to then build out our own custom searches or just look for specific words under transcript to be able to look for different topics, entities, or summaries. And then, of course, any specific words or phrases that are spoken within the transcript as well. So now the nice thing about this is as Deepgram upgrades and changes models and things like that, we can then just go ahead and connect directly through our API integration with them to the next service and various updates and things that they do as well. And then, of course, as David mentioned, you can run this eMAM system locally and Deepgram, or in the cloud, or in combination thereof. So lots of options for deployment there as well. So what happens here is that we have built in either an automated or manual process for processing media. Now, we're not storing any media up there. We're actually sending links, and I'll show you the next slide here, but links to the proxy files up to Deepgram, and then we can then trigger that via like a button here, or metadata change, or have it automated as well in other ways. So we pass on then the media path to Deepgram for the proxy, and then they process that information and then feed us back then the transcript, summary, entities, you know, and topics as well back into the eMAM system. And then, of course, that all becomes searchable. Now, when you're doing your searches, you can do general searches on a word or a topic and so on. You can do phrases and various things, but the idea is that we highlight then that information inside of what you found. So what we will do is when you search for a particular word for speech to text or topics and so on, it then feeds back to you the assets that have those words in them. You can click on the asset and then go right to the highlighted area where those words were spoken, say in the transcript here, as this example here. You'll also receive then information, which is summary information back to eMAM. So it gives you summary of the asset. So I can click on that. Topics as well, and entities. So all of this information, every word, every phrase that you see here is all completely searchable within the eMAM system. And the nice thing is within the advanced search capabilities of eMAM, I can build out my own custom search, private or public. So that's up to you or the admins. It will then allow me to then search off the summary, off this transcript and titles, entities, categories, labels, custom metadata, in combination thereof, and then be able to find those specific assets. And then, of course, as I just showed you in the last slide, be able to jump right to that spot, exactly where that media is. So what I wanted to do was just jump over quickly over to the eMAM system here. So in eMAM, this is just an example of what you'll see. So I've created a custom search in the advanced search under what we call managed filters. And as you can see, I can make this managed filter a private one for myself, and then be able to just open up this box here, go ahead and type in a word, like in this case here, this file happens to have MoGRT files from Adobe. So I can actually then search specifically where that file is, and then click on that file and then jump right to the time code where that might be. Now, The nice thing also is that the information that Deepgram and Abe give us back is this is all text file, so I can actually have a caption file now inside of the eMAM system and inside of our database. Now, this is also exportable, so I could send it over to Captions and have them do translations or whatever you want to do with that information. But I can also then see the display of the captions over my video as well. Now, inside of eMAM, in this transcript widget, we store all of this information with the summary and topics and entities as well. And then again, every bit of this is searchable. So it just enhances and adds more value to all of your assets within the eMAM system that we manage. So quite a nice feature. As you saw, the cost is very minimal. And being able to just go ahead and do speech to text on all your assets and then be able to go quickly right to that spot where those words or phrases were spoken, and then be able to then subclip it. You can then drop that into Adobe Premiere and then finish out and create highlights and various things like that. So, so I'll go back over to PowerPoint here real quick, and then we'll go to the next slide and then see if you have any questions. So Dave, if we've got some questions, maybe we can answer for you.
Great, thanks so much. And let's see, we can
take off that mute there, don't you?
Yeah, only one fire truck today. Yeah, so if people have questions, please put them in the question tab. Happy to answer them. And let's take a look what we have. Training, so I guess that's an Abe question. In general or specific training, how does that work?
Yes, so Deepgram offers a number of different models. Again, 30 plus languages. I think it's close to 35 now that we have covered for our speech to text. Then we also have some domain specific models. So we have some models for finance, medical, right, and other use cases. So definitely depending on your audio and where you want to go, there could be a few different models that you may be using and leveraging. If you're not satisfied with the level of accuracy, or if it seems like there's certain names, words that are being missed that are really specific to your business or the audio and media that you have, we can work with you to improve that. And so through custom model training, we can work with you and eMAM to increase the accuracy on that model. It's a kind of a mini engagement, basically kind of a 2 to 4 week exercise where we do need about 10 to 20 hours of representative audio. So we have to obviously have those words in order to then, in the variance of how they are said, to be able to then train and upgrade a model that could be language really specific to your business. And you could imagine with like pharmaceutical, that might be drug names that are specific to that pharmaceutical company, or it could be, you know, a number of different other things. But again, as a foundational AI and language model company, we have the people and processes all internally in-house to be able to do that in a very trusted and secure way. So we're happy to work with you on that exercise as needed.
Okay, thanks. And then on business model, so I think we pretty much answered that. So eMAM it provides a connector that works automatically, and Chuck kind of showed you how to connect it. As you said, on your website, deepgram.com, there's list pricing, and if there's something special needed, I think people can go to that.
Yeah, and to add to that, Dave, so users, what they'll do is add to their license that connector, which is the transcribe widget. And then, of course, also they have to sign up for Deepgram account. And then we put in their credentials inside of eMAM that then connects to the Deepgram account.
Great, thanks. And our team can help, or our partners worldwide can also help with that. So that's pretty easy to do. And let's see if there's other questions coming in. And then on the website, is there a list of languages, or should people send you an email? What's the easiest way to find the supported languages currently? I'm sure that's a moving target.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We do have, it's available on the website. So if you go into our models and languages overview, there's a nice section, and I can drop the link in the chat here that goes through all of the models and languages that we have available. So that's the best place to start. And then, of course, if you have any specific questions from there, I am happy to discuss and help make sure you're getting pointed in the right direction. Just from a, and I'm putting this link in the, I don't know how it goes to everybody, but I'll make sure this gets sent out. But what I would also just note, just right on the contracting side, so on our website, we have a freemium tier, a freemium offering, so anybody can sign up for a free Deepgram account. You get $200 in credits, what equates to about 70,000 minutes of transcription. So you can do a lot quite there as far as a POC and general testing. We always recommend, it's obviously very easy, zero friction, get started. One thing for me to talk about, how great we are, another thing to obviously see for yourself. So, please do that and work with eMAM and us to make that happen. Sign up for a free account, get started testing. When you can get to those credit expiration, it would basically then you just roll over to on a credit card model, right? So kind of a pay-as-you-go monthly model. And that's where our list prices on the website apply. From there, if you as you get up to bigger volumes and or want to look at using Deepgram self-hosted or on-prem, please come talk to me, come talk to David, Chuck, right? We'd love to have that conversation with you about how we can set you up for success. That would be something where we'd look to move to more of an annual contracting model. We can do custom terms and support and all the things to make sure that you are going to be very successful with your Deepgram implementation.
Great. And then compliance, you mentioned profanity and other things. So is that kind of blurred out in what happens in the transcript?
Yeah, it's exactly that, right? So it'll be kind of grayed out, kind of blacked out, right, in the transcript. So if you had social security numbers, right, PII, other kind of PII data, that can all be flagged in a redaction and removed from the actual transcript.
Okay, great. And let's see if there's any other questions. I think we answered them all. Happy to share a recording and the PowerPoint deck as needed. And I wanted to thank everybody for your interest today. And we're very excited to have a very powerful and because so much of the data in the libraries is not properly tagged. So a transcript gives a great way for people to look, to find, to edit, to do whatever they need to do with the media. So we're super excited about the relationship and like you to try it and check it out and see how it works for your team or your customers and so forth. If there are no further questions, I want to thank everybody and wish everybody a great day. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.